Would you like that like that?
That doesn't quite do it for me, but I still got to do this. All right. Thank you for being here this morning, everybody, for hydroplaning over here like Dee and I did. Oh, man, that was quite the drive. So this month we're continuing our Freedom Factor message, and Reverend Debbie and Jeff have both been under the weather. We've had them on our prayer list all week long, and we know that even as we speak, they are getting better and better. So how do we use this idea of freedom in our everyday lives? That's what we like to think about. Reverend Holmes said this: freedom is the birthright of every living soul. Our inherent nature is forever seeking to express itself in terms of freedom. We do well to listen to this inner voice, for it tells us of a life wonderful in its scope, of a love beyond our fondest dreams. So that's kind of our model for what we're talking about this month. And today we're talking particularly about freedom to experience peace. And again, how we can apply that to our own lives. There's a definition of peace that I kind of like. It goes like this: peace is not the absence of conflict, but serenity in the midst of it. Because we're always going to have waves. We're never going to have it completely smooth. Ernest Holmes says, peace is a state of inner calm, an inner calm so complete that nothing can disturb it. And there's a story about a parable about this king. And he had this contest. Who can make the perfect picture of peace? So he had all these artists drawing these pictures of what they thought perfect peace looked like. And the two finalists he had. And the one finalist, the picture was these just beautiful, majestic mountains next to a clear, calm body of water. And you know how the body of water then will reflect it's just a beautiful, clear blue skies, white, fluffy clouds. Just everybody said, yes, this is really a wonderful picture of peace. Well, then there was another picture, and that picture also had some mountains, but they were kind of rough and craggy, and the sky was not blue. The sky was dark and threatening, and there were bolts of lightning coming down, and there was this waterfall that was just rushing, foaming. It wasn't one of those nice little trickly guys that you could sleep to. It was a kind of a scary thing, like an angry waterfall coming down. That was the picture. But what was happening behind the scenes is, if you look behind the waterfall, there was this small bush coming out of a crack in the rock. And in the bush, a bird had built a bird's nest, laid its eggs, and was sitting on those eggs. So in the midst of the rushing water and the bolts of lightning and the pouring rain, the wind, whatever was going on, this bird sat on that nest in perfect peace. And I think, and that's the one that the king chose, because he remembered that we're never going to have complete peace in our lives. We are always going to have things that make waves. Again, peace is not the absence of conflict or the absence of storms or the absence of rough waters. It's serenity in the midst of it. There's a Hindu philosopher named Tagore. He won the 1913 Nobel Peace Prize, and he wrote this. I like this quote. Alicia, you might want to write this down. Alicia likes quotes too. He said, let me not pray to be sheltered from dangers, but be fearless in facing them. Didn't pray, don't let anything come after me. Prayed for strength to face them. And let's face it, our lives have conditions in them that we can't control. Stuff is going to happen. And if we can only be at peace, even though that stuff is around us. Holmes says, real freedom means that we are created in the image of perfection and let alone to make the discovery of ourselves. Discovery for ourselves. We've got to discover this for ourselves. And so I think there's a couple important things that he's talking about here. First, that the very essence of perfection, life, God, Spirit is who we are. That's who we are. That Creator, which is perfect, experiences life through us, so we too are perfection. We've got to remember that. And the second thing is we are given complete choice about how we're going to live our lives. We can discover and live from this truth or not. And of course, we make that choice every day. Sometimes we can kind of zero into that serenity no matter what, and sometimes we just are listening to that waterfall and the lightning and saying, oh, life is just getting me down. So this has everything to do with peace because we do have access to it all the time. All the time we have access because it is within. But you know, you think about these outer conditions, and we all have them. You know, what if the traffic's bad? What if your kids aren't listening to you? What if you're having this feeling like, oh, I think I'm having this conflict with my spouse and we're moving apart from each other? What if your boss is a jerk? What if the people that you work with don't pick up the slack? You know, what if you got a headache? What if you got a bladder infection, a UIT? What if that happens? You know, can you still have some peace? Mary Morrissey, who wrote a class called Prosperity Plus, she breaks down the word circumstance, and she says circum means surrounding and stance, where we stand. So circumstance, the conditions surrounding where we are right now. And, you know, we think this peace is being taken from us or withheld from us because of these conditions. And this is kind of human nature to do this, and yet that's not really true. It's our perception of the situation. How do we look at it? Thomas Paine was the author of a booklet called Common Sense. He wrote it around the time of the Revolution. And he said, I love the man that can smile in trouble, that can gather strength from distress, and grow brave by reflection. You know, these people are speaking to this idea that we are all going to have challenges, something that could disrupt this serene lake, this blue sky. We could all have these disruptions, and how do we deal with them? What is the perception? There's a hypnotist, his name is Flip Orley, and he was in a crowd of people. There's this great big burly guy, big strapping tough guy, you know, and Orley hypnotizes him, and he tells him, the guy sitting next to you is Dracula. And pretty soon this big burly guy in this little girly voice said, this guy really scares me. Nothing had changed. Guy sitting next to him was just regular John Doe, but his perception was that this guy could hurt him. Another guy in the audience, he hypnotized him, and he said, you're having this terrible argument with your hand. And so at some point during this time, this guy says to his hand, he says, you know, you are really starting to irritate me. You know, nothing has changed but the perception. Now, we don't have to be hypnotized by Flip Orley to experience stuff like that. I think I might have experienced something like that this week. I was diagnosed with a UIT, urinary tract infection. And they gave me a prescription, sent me home with it. I took the first day or day and a half of this prescription, and I felt pretty good. I think I got the prescription on Wednesday, and on Thursday morning, I'm feeling pretty good. And I get a call, and the woman on the other end says, well, we got more of these they send this stuff away, get more lab results, and oftentimes in the past, I've been told that, we gave you the wrong stuff because the lab says, no, you got to have this kind of antibiotic. And so she told me that whatever you're taking, she said, that isn't having any effect on your bladder infection. About an hour later, I felt so horrible. Really, I went to bed. I felt so bad. I felt so sick. And I kind of was thinking, I was preparing this. I kind of knew, could it be my perception? And after my nap, I woke up and I kind of felt fine again. But I think she planted a seed and changed my perception about how I was feeling. And so for a while, I felt pretty sick. But we all do that. This woman was having a dream. She dreamed a bear was chasing her. Bear gets her cornered and right up against her, and she says to the bear, oh no, are you going to kill me? And the bear says, well, I don't know, it's your dream, you tell me. It's our perception. We can change our mind, how we look at what's going on in the outer world and the conditions of our life. So, we can choose. Do you want to have a life of peace, or do you want to be, this way and that way, whatever the waves of life are bringing you at the time? We have the gift of choice. And I think one of the keys is, no matter what is going on around you, that peace of God is always within you. Like that little bird. The little bird wasn't afraid of anything because it knew it was safe where it was. And we can know that too. We can know that we have that peace that passes all understanding. Despite appearances, there's something moving in the unseen for our greater good. Powerful stuff. And the infinite is always at peace, and we are one with that infinite power, that omnipresence that brings that peace. So I'm going to give you 5 ideas that just might raise your consciousness about this idea. And it's the 5 ideas are around peace, P-E-A-C-E. So we're going to start out with the P, pray. Pray. Stay connected. Stay connected. Just always know that power is as close as your breath, and commune with it. And it's important, I think, sometimes not to go into prayer with a list of what you want. Here's what I want. Instead, go into your time of prayer and meditation just wanting to get in touch with that power within. Just knowing it, just remembering it, basking in that light of love within you. So the next one is E, envision. Envision everyone on this planet as a loving person in your life. If we can do this, this is amazing. And there's an example given about, the people that write the channeling of Abraham and Esther Hicks. Well, they traveled around. He's dead now. I don't know if she's still alive or not. She's alive. Anyway, they traveled around in this bus. They called it their monster bus, and they'd travel around to these hotels to do their seminars. And so they pulled up to this hotel where they're going to do a seminar, and they're packing up to get all their stuff inside the hotel that they need, and it's kind of close quarters, and you know how men can get in your way sometime. Well, Jerry was kind of getting in her way, and she was getting irritated with him. And Jerry was no dummy, and he said to Esther, he said, how about you think of me as our beloved little grandchild, Kate, 4-year-old little girl. Just try to think of me as you think of her. So she took a deep breath and she thought, I just love that little kid. And felt nothing but love, and thought, what a precious, precious person this is, and how wonderful that that precious person is helping me pack. And just like that, nothing had changed. Quarters were still small, still hard. But she changed that perspective and he planted the seed. Think of somebody you love and, just overlook the fact that you think I'm in your way. And certain things like this are just good exercises to use. So we got pray and we got envision, P-E, right? So now we're on E, anchor in love. And isn't that the answer to so many of our dilemmas in life, is just love. If we could just love enough. And as we raise our consciousness, we raise our ability to have peace in our life. And it's just as easy as that. If we, focus on our heart, know that love is within us, and just bask in that love of God within us, how powerful that is. So anchor in love. And then C, create reminders or rituals that will help us vibrate this peace idea. And a good example of that is Thich Nhat Hanh. And he said, what they did, they have a call center in France, and he's told them, he said, no, when the phone rings, just don't pick it up. When the phone rings, take a deep breath and center yourself in peace. Now, I know when the phone rings for me and it says potential scam, the first thing that runs through my head is what I could say to that person on the other end. I want to say things like, does your grandmother know what you do for a living? How do you sleep at night? This is what goes through my head. So I'm thinking I can take a lesson from what he's saying here. And then he came with this, he calls it a breath break. This is Thich Nhat Hanh. He says, breathing in, I calm my body. Breathing out, I smile. Dwelling in the present moment, I know this is a wonderful moment. It doesn't take long to do that, but it can change your perspective about everything, whatever you're facing in your life. So that's the creative reminder. That's the C. And then the E is enjoy each moment as a sacred moment of profound connection with Spirit. Now, some of you know who this guy is by the name of Brother Lawrence. He was a monk in the 17th century, French monk, and he wasn't very well respected. He didn't get much respect. People thought he was kind of inept. He's kind of clumsy, and he was untalented. He didn't get much respect, so they delegated him to the kitchen. You just wash the pots and pans, and that'll be your job. Well, rather than feeling disheartened and separated from his higher power because he couldn't spend the time in whatever the other monks were doing, praying and praying and praying, he was in the kitchen washing the pans. But he decided to use the mundane stuff, like washing pots and pans, as his reminder to be reminded of his oneness with God. And over the years, the results of this practice became so evident that even the abbot of the monastery went to him for advice. So, just really important to be able to know that wherever we are, whatever we're doing, we have access to that peace within. And he wrote this, he said, "This time of busyness does not with me differ from the time of prayer. And the noise and the clutter of my kitchen while several people are at the same time calling for different things. I possess God within as great tranquility as if I were upon my knees at the Blessed Sacrament." Didn't matter where he was, he had that peace. And that takes us back to that idea of when we pray, we don't always have to be asking for something. When we get prayerful, we can simply be prayerful, recognizing that we are one with our higher power. And this might be something that you could think of as a homework assignment if you like. Think of some times in your life that you do something that's, whether it's take a shower or do the dishes or whatever it is that you do on a regular basis, brush your teeth, and remember that you can use that as an opportunity to simply remember that God is within you, that you can tap into that anytime. So it would be a good ritual to make a habit of doing. In the Course of Miracles, there's a quote, "You will not find peace except the peace of God. Accept this fact and save yourself the agony of yet more bitter disappointment, bleak despair, and a sense of icy hopelessness and doubt. Seek you no further. There is nothing else for you to find except the peace of God." That's kind of what we're talking about today. Peace of God is between you and God. You don't have to pay any attention to whatever else is going on around you, whatever those conditions are. And I'm going to close today with a prayer from Ernest Holmes. It comes from his Science of Mind text, page 511. And if you just get comfortable where you are, maybe take a deep breath. If you like, close your eyes. Ernest words. My inner mind is still. My soul reflects the Most High. My spirit is the Spirit of God. In the great calm of the all-good, I rest in peace and serenity. My life is now reflecting the perfect whole. I am peace. I am calm. I am serenity and complete satisfaction. I am one with God. I am filled with peace. So it is.
A little more love for Joanne. And some musical love from Victoria and Abebi.
The wind that shakes the barley will not shake me. The wind that shakes the barley will not shake me. The wind that shakes the barley won't shake me. Like my grandma told me, these are so though that I see. The fire that takes the kindling will not take me. The fire that takes the kindling will not take me. The fire that takes the kindling won't take me. Like my grandma told me, this I saw that I see. Oh, 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 the rain that floods the valley will not drown me. The rain that floods the valley will not drown me. The rain that floods the valley won't drown me. Like my grandma told me, this I saw, though that I see. The wind that shakes the barley will not shake me. The wind that shakes the barley will not shake me. The wind that shakes the barley won't shake me. Like my grandma told me, this I saw, though that I see. The wind that shakes the barley will not shake me. The wind that shakes the barley will not shake me. The wind that shakes the barley won't shake me. Like my grandma told me, this I know, though that I see. Like my grandma told me, this I know that I see.
That was beautiful. Beautiful. Okay. Where am I? It is now time. Is this thing on? Thank you, Anthony. He's so good back there. Let's give some love to Anthony. Okay. I hope you've been enjoying our Sunday celebration. Good. And now it's time to ask yourself, have you been spiritually fed? Oh, before I move on, thank you, Reverend Joanne. That was a great message. Which has us feeling and that knowing and that being spiritually fed, which leads us to, giving where you're spiritually fed. And at this time, if you have a gift to offer, hold that close to your heart. And I know some of you give online, so just pretend that's me. I give online. And I love this prayer. So know with me that this gift I give is God in action. I send it forth with joy, confidence, and ease. I am blessed by the law of giving and receiving, as I now share my good with life. Pressed down, shaken together, and just running over. And so it is.
Okay. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. So blessed. I am so grateful.
Oh, thank you for the gifts. Thank you for supporting this center and allowing us to show up for you. And thank you for showing up. And we also have another gift in thanks for you, and that is the opportunity to sit with a practitioner. Our sole purpose, and we walk this in our own lives and we walk it for this church, is to remember who we really are. And that puts us in the position to remember who you really are. That you come from that one light, that one power, that one presence that just is everywhere present. And it's so cool to be reminded. So, we offer what we call the 3-minute prayer right after service if there's something pressing going on. We have the opportunity to fill out a prayer request that we take with our prayer team, and we send it out, and we know the truth for you. You can go online and request a prayer online. Yeah, please take us up on that offer. Even if there isn't anything going on, because it sure is a shot in the arm when you remember. All right, so for announcements, I don't know that we've got anything going on, but there's one thing I want to highlight, and if you want to grab your flyer, I'm going to ask Anthony to come up and talk about, this guy is a talent beyond words. He's about to tell you about an exhibit that he's done, and I have seen it, and it is beautiful, and it is inspiring, and I invite you all to go see it. And now I'll let him talk about it.
Thank you, Celeste. My second exhibit is now up, and it's a life in art. It's a retrospective of my late husband's artwork, pottery, stained glass, folded books, and handmade paper. It will go through August 18th. So I invite you to come out. Flyers are up there. And after that, I will be doing something highlighting writers. So continuing through December. Thank you.
No, thank you for showcasing Jim's work. I had never seen book folding before. And it is phenomenal. And it just, the geek inside of me went crazy because it's not just folding books, it's measurements and it's precise. Oh my, it blew my mind. It blew my mind, the talent that is on display. So I hope you'll take advantage of that opportunity. Okay. Unless there are any, can you think of anything? Okay. Very good. Then I am going to close this out with a prayer. Reverend Joanna is going to give us a blessing. Victoria and Abebe are going to give us a song. And then I invite you to join us for a little bit and have some banana bread and some cookies and coffee and continue this little communion we got going on today. I think it has stopped raining. But just in case, we got you covered if you want to hang out. All right, so settle into that chair once again. It was designed to support you, so let it. And take another deep breath. And remember the truth, that there is only one. That is everywhere present. It is peace, it is joy, it is serenity. the divine idea in action. As I said, it is everywhere, and it created everything. Therefore, I know it created me, and it created each of you. I know that God is in the midst of me and thee, nearer than hands and feet, closer than breath. Peace is us, as us, through us, always, no matter how it appears. Let us know that nothing outside of us has to change for us to have a different experience. It doesn't matter where you are or what the situation is. Remember who you really are, that you come from that one life, and it knows what to do, when to do it, and how to say it. So let us remember beyond this moment in time in our communion that this feeling is with us always, and we take it with us the rest of our day, the rest of our week, and until we meet again. Know that you are loved. Know that you are peace. Know that God is right where you are, always. Always. I give thanks for this time. As I predicted, it unfolded perfectly. And a special shout out to Reverend Debbie and to Jeff, knowing that all is whole, perfect and complete for them as well. Thank you, God. Thank you. Thank you. I let it be, and I say, and so it is.
I'll leave you with this blessing. May you be at peace. May you know the beauty of your own true nature. May your heart be open. May you be healed. May you be blessed. Namaste.